Hi there. Today we are making Sichuan cucumbers, smashed cucumbers, and or smashed Sichuan cucumbers. We were trying to decide which way. I think I like smashed
Or Sichuan cucumbers smashed, depending on how much
whatever.
oil.
Anyway, it's integral that they're smashed, and they are Sichuan. They have the chili oil, the spice in them. I know that I had these when I lived in Asia on a couple of occasions. But the first time that I actually recall having this dish in North America was when Rob and I went to New York City, and we were lucky enough to go to Momofuku, which is one of David Chang's restaurants.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And they did a version there that was stellar. It was a really, really good version, very refreshing and tasty on so many levels. So when we came home, we started playing around with how do you recreate that recipe. And there are a few online, you can go look. There are a lot of similarities though. They all have pretty much the same ingredients in greater or lesser amounts, which means that you can tweak. You know, was it too sweet for you? Use less sugar next time. Not enough sesame oil, add some more. You do you, right? But we're gonna do our version right now, and I'm gonna start with how you smash the cucumbers. So this is a cold dish.
Let's get smashed.
Very funny.
No.
So you take the side of your knife and I actually want to mention the cucumbers. So this is a portion of a long English cucumber. If you see here, I've already done the other bits. This was an entire cucumber, about, yay long. You can also use those smaller straight cucumbers that are very popular right now that often come in cellophane on styrofoam, which is horrible. Sometimes they're called Japanese cucumbers, sometimes they're called Lebanese cucumbers, but they are very similar to this in that you eat the skin.
Yeah, field cucumbers don't work as well.
They won't work as well for this dish because the skin, the color and the flavor and the texture is a part of the dish. Okay?
Carry on.
So I'm taking the flat side of the knife and I'm whacking it. See how it splits?
Oh.
So this is a really great way to get your aggressions out if you're feeling kind of aggro.
Are you feeling tense, dear?
No, I'm good. So,
Not now.
so once you've got it smashed like that, just cut it into more bite-sized type pieces, which is what I had already done here. So you see, you've got chunks of smashed and cut.
And that just exposes more surface area to the dressing, right? So.
And you get the interesting craggy bits. If you just slice your cucumber, you don't have those craggy bits, and those are some of the best bits. So I'm putting this in a colander that's on a plate, and I'm gonna start by sprinkling a little on there, put a bit more on, sprinkle some more on there. And this is just kosher salt. And then I'm gonna give it a bit of a mix with my hands, because you know me, I do that. And then we're gonna let the cucumber sit there, and some of the moisture is gonna come out of the cucumber. And don't skip that step.
That's why it's on a plate, right?
That's right, because, right? So you could do this just in a bowl and then drain it later, but this sort of kills two birds with one stone. So just make sure that your kosher salt is really well mixed in with your cucumber, and then let it sit, okay? Let it sit 15 to 30 minutes, sort of depending on what else you're doing. This is a side dish, so you're probably making other things towards dinner. So
And you can make this a couple hours in advance and put it in the fridge.
Absolutely, or even leave it out. I don't love it personally when it's really cold. I don't know if that's because I have super sensitive teeth or if it's because I think the flavors are better when it's room temp, but you can leave this out on the counter for a couple of hours. It's really not a big deal. Nobody's going to be calling the police and saying, oh my God, you food poisoned someone. So what we're going to do while that is doing that, no food poisoning, is we're going to make the dressing for this, okay? So the ingredients are, we got some garlic here, and as always, if you open up the show more down below the video, you will see the amounts.
As well as...
Oh, as well as, Rob's reminding me, because I really suck at this YouTube thing.
You suck.
Please, leave a comment, ask a question, subscribe, all of those things.
Thumbs up.
Oh, thumbs up too.
Just
all of
takes a
that
second.
Bumps my YouTube channel up and will make it easier for you and your friends to find when you're looking for it later. So
there you go.
Please and thank you. So we got garlic here, and what I did for this garlic, you can mince it with your knife, but what I actually did here was I took a rasp, which is a fine grater, and I grated the garlic. peeled, grated garlic.
Scene from Goodfellas. She used to slice the garlic so thin it would
No,
melt.
that was done with like a knife or a razor blade. This is rice wine vinegar. We pop that in there. Then we got some soy sauce, because, you know. Gotta have. That's your part of your saltiness and also the umami yumminess. Sesame oil. Some recipes, really surprised me, did not call for sesame oil.
Integral.
And I think that you can't make this without the sesame oil, because these, to me, if I weren't calling them smashed Sichuan peppercorns, I'd call them smashed smashed Sichuan cucumbers. I would call them smashed sesame cucumbers, because that's the flavor that really comes through to me. Then you've got the sugar, and you just want to dissolve the sugar into the liquid there. And then...
It smells good already.
It does, doesn't it?
Some of you remember the chili oil episode.
Yes, so one of the previous episodes was chili oil, and that's what this is. And the amount you use, I'll put a couple of different amounts in there, you know, a scale. It's up to you how much chili you like. But the cucumber is obviously not spicy itself and is really refreshing. So I find that you can probably use more chili oil here than you would on another dish, just because cucumbers are like anti-chili oil, right?
Some recipes have fresh ground Sichuan peppercorns to be dusted on at the end. If you really like that mala kind of vibe there.
They do, which is very Sichuan. Mala is a combination of the ma is the numbing effect of the Sichuan peppercorns on your tongue, and the la is the heat from chilies. Chinese has a different word for spicy hot as opposed to hot. English sucks for that we only have the word hot, and spicy doesn't quite work because, you know,
30 words for snow.
Spicy can mean like cinnamon and nutmeg, right? And that's not spicy hot. So la is spicy.
This is just...
So that's your dressing.
It's pretty good.
So we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to come back after about 15-20 minutes after the cucumbers have had a chance to drain off some of their liquid, mix it all together, and show you possible ways of garnishing it and upping the flavor in just a few minutes. So we're back, and it's been about 20 minutes, give or take. And you can see how glossy these cucumbers are.
They are glossy.
And that they've, you know, got some liquid sort of out. Not a huge amount, but, you know, enough to make it worthwhile. And I'm just going to, you know, give a little bit of a squeeze. And pop them in the dressing that we made. Now this is, like I said before, this is a side dish. Obviously, there's no protein here. There's no, you know, this would not make a great meal all unto itself. We have some rice cooking over there, and Rob is making Mapo Tofu tonight, which is one of our favorite dishes, and is comfort food for me because I grew up with it. We may get around to doing Mapo Tofu if you leave me a comment and say, yes, please, we really, really want your version of Mapo Tofu.
Because our version's pretty good.
Yeah.
Modestly.
Rob, did we already do a video on Mapo?
Oh, I don't know. It's COVID's been screwing with my memory.
Actually, I think we might have. I'll have to check.
What was your name again?
I'm sorry, you are?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just mixing up the dressing with those cucumbers.
Oh, you're the best tosser.
Oh, very funny. Now, let's talk condiments. Or not condiments.
Always use a condiment.
How do you... How do you finish this dish? So there are different things. These are all optional. We have both black and toasted sesame seeds here, which, you know what, that looks nice, right? Let's sprinkle those on top. Why not? Very pretty.
Just get them off your fingers.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. Well, that's what the sink is for. Then we've got scallions, green onions. We'll put some of those in there. You could do some chili flakes here, but I personally think that the chili oil has enough of that going on. And then the last thing you can do are these handy dandy salted Spanish peanuts that are really tasty. You can use those two ways. You can either toast them up a little bit more in a dry frying pan, or actually even in an oiled frying pan. Make sure there's salt on them. If you have ones that are unsalted, make sure to salt them. It makes all the difference. You could put them on top of here as a garnish whole, Or you can toast them, salt them, and then kind of powder them by chopping them pretty fine and sprinkle that over top. I think that's the way we had it when we were at Momo Food.
Yeah,
Was that they had this like
almost
powdered
like
peanuts.
peanut dust almost.
It was really good. But anyway, there you go. That is the lovely smashed Sichuan cucumbers. And they're super tasty. Highly recommend it. Go make and leave a comment down below, please.